Well, good evening, visitors. Welcome to the Australian War Memorial's Last Post ceremony. My name is Richard Cruz, and joining us today from the Royal Australian Air Force is Corporal Ingrid Cogler. We welcome the veterans who have served, those that are still serving, and the families that love and support them. We acknowledge the members of RSL and Services Clubs Association, RSL Victoria and RSL Queensland, who are watching the broadcast of this ceremony across Australia. And during this evening's ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the Pool of Reflection by visitors and students on behalf of the following schools. From Victoria, St John Vianney School, Parkdale East, Pakenham Lakeside Primary School, Buanga Primary School, Moyston Primary School and Maroona Primary School. And from Queensland, Killarney State School and Allura State School. If you're able, I invite you all to please stand and join in singing the National Anthem. If you're able, please be seated. The Australian War Memorial was the vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with the Australian troops on Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through to the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where families and friends could mourn their loved ones buried in faraway lands. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed in the entrance to the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit, in the heart of the land they loved, and here we guard the record which they themselves made. Tonight we'll read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of more than 102,000 Australians who have died in war or warlike operations for more than a century. But first we present a lament, Flowers of the Forest. Wreaths and floral tributes will now be laid at the base of the Pool of Reflection.
Today we remember and pay tribute to Sergeant Norman Lyall Fartch. Norman Fartch was born on the 31st of October 1908 in Mount Gambier, South Australia. Known as Norm to his family and friends, Fartch grew up with his two brothers and one sister around Mount Gambier before the family moved to the Gippsland region of Victoria, where they ran a sheep and dairy farm. Fartch attended school in Neerim, east of Melbourne, and later worked as a relieving station master for Victorian Railways. His job saw him move around the state to a number of localities. He spent time living in Sea Lake in northeast Victoria, where he was a member of the local fire brigade. Before joining the army, he gained valuable military experience by serving in local militia units. Fartch signed up to serve for Australia in the Second World War on the 6th of June 1940. He was one of two Fartch brothers to serve. His older brother Hector, who enlisted not long after Norman, served in an artillery unit. Soon after his enlistment, Norman Fartch began training with the 2nd Pioneer Battalion. During his training and service, he showed himself to be a valuable soldier. He was promoted several times, eventually reaching the rank of sergeant. In April 1941, Fartch and the 2nd Battalion sailed from Sydney for overseas service. Arriving in Egypt in May, the battalion set up camp near Gaza in Palestine. There, they trained, adjusted to the desert conditions, and in their free time enjoyed sightseeing trips to Tel Aviv and Jerusalem. In June 1941, Fartch and the 2nd Pioneer Battalion were sent to form part of the force tasked with fighting the pro-Axis Vichy French forces in Syria and modern-day Lebanon. The campaign against the Vichy French forces in Syria began on the night of the 7th and 8th of June. Fartch's unit formed part of the centre of the Allied attack and was aimed at taking the important airfield at Rayak, about halfway between Beirut and Damascus. As part of this attack, Allied forces successfully took the strategically important fort of Mergion, but were forced to abandon the position after Vichy French counterattack on the 15th. On the 17th of June 1941, Fartch was ordered to make a formal assault on the fort as part of the joint attack by the 2nd 25th Infantry Battalion and two companies of the 2nd Pioneer Battalion. It was a formidable task. Their target was a well-defended fort with 6-metre-high walls that was so thick that the Australian 25-pound artillery fire did little damage to them. These walls were defended by well-concealed Vichy French rifle and machine gun positions supported by tank fire. The companies of the 2nd Pioneer Battalion had to attack across open ground scattered with mines and barbed wire against an enemy far more familiar with the terrain. The attack was also especially dangerous because Fartch's 2nd Pioneer Battalion had not yet received advanced infantry training. They were to attack with only one light automatic machine gun and one submachine gun per company, and no mortars. The attack began at 5:30 a.m. when Australian artillery fired on the fort. Soon after, Fartch and the men of the 2nd Pioneer Battalion began their advance into strong enemy fire. They ran into thick barbed wire entanglements and about 70 metres from their objective and began to sustain heavy casualties. They suffered 27 killed and 46 wounded in this single action. Fartch was one of those killed, likely in the assault towards their objective. He was 32 years old. In the chaos of the battle, he was originally reported as missing in action, but was later able to be identified as having been killed during the assault. Today, his remains lie buried in the Damascus Commonwealth War Cemetery in Syria, where over 500 Commonwealth soldiers of the Second World War now lie. His friends and family left many memorial notes in local newspaper upon hearing his death. Some of his friends wrote, "To live in the hearts of those we love is not to die." His name is listed on the Roll of Honour on my left, amongst almost 40,000 Australians who died while serving in the Second World War. A photograph of his headstone is displayed today beside the pool of reflection. This is but one of many stories of service and sacrifice told here at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember Sergeant Norman Lyall Fartch, who gave his life for us, for our freedoms, and in the hope of a better world.
If you're able, please stand for the reading of the ode and the sounding of the last post.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them.
We will remember them.
Lest we forget.
Lest we forget. We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying out there at Pozières or in the low scrub at Gallipoli, with his poor, tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain, has thought in his last moments, well, it's over. But in Australia, they will be proud of this. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, that concludes this evening's last post ceremony. We thank you for visiting the Australian War Memorial and wish you all a very good evening. Thank you.